Now that we know the mean and we also know what the range is, what we want to do is try to determine the standard deviation. The standard deviation is a measure of how spread out the numbers or the observations are. In order to do so, we need to find out what the variance is. So for variance, we are going to use the following formula. So we're going to take our observations individually, subtract the mean from them, and we are going to square them. We will take those amounts and divide them by n minus 1. So we can begin again here. We have our observations, our average or our mean, and this would be our distance, and our variance, which is the squared amount. So 160, 170, so listing all of our observations, our mean will always be the same, and we have a negative 18 centimeter distance, a negative 8, a 7, 7, and 12. And when we square each of these, so 18 negative 8 squared would be 324, 64, 49, 49, and 144. So this can be done with just a basic calculator. Now we get a total variance of 630. So now that we have our total variance, what we need to do is divide it by our total number of our observations less 1. So 630 divided by 5 minus 1. So 630 divided by 4 equals 157.50. So this would be what is called our variance. Now, the standard deviation is going to be our variance standard deviation will be our variance square root. So here we can enter that in 157.50 and we get a standard deviation of 12.55 centimeters. So, in looking at this, we can refer our standard deviation to any chart. Now, these are pretty standard numbers. This will be in your formula guide. You can see here that your averages typically fall along a bell curve. So in this case, our mean would be 178 centimeters. And one standard deviation in either direction would be plus 12.55 and negative 12.55. Now, from these points, 68% of all observations, and this is a standard number when it comes to standard deviations, will fall between -1 to 1. So plus minus your mean plus minus 1 standard deviation will have 68% of all observations. Within 2, we'll have 95% of all observations. And within 3, we'll have 99.7% of all observations. So we can note we can determine with standard deviations, when determining men's heights in Canada, that 99.7% of the population will fall between 178 plus or minus 12.55 times 3. So that's approximately 37.65 centimeters. So 178, so between about 140 to 215 centimeters, you'll see 99.7% of the population fall within it.